Aloha, everybody. This is I, Marina Love, your heart healer and revealer of life's greater truths. Thank you so much for joining me today on Lucky Love. Our webinar today is all about revealing the 3 top mistakes that we are making in our relationships, whether it be with friends or with lovers and in all aspects of our life. And I just want to start today by sharing a little bit of vulnerability, as there has just been a lot of chaos present at the moment through me learning about the technologies that are involved in starting a webinar. And actually, right before I was on my way to begin, there was a little bit of a situation that happened that I was involved in, and it was really quite interesting to witness. So I just need a little bit of grounding. I'm sure each and every one of you here on this webinar right now who are here with me would love to have a little bit of extra grounding for themselves as well, because we all are, just setting into this time where we have lots of things going on in our lives, and I'd really like to drop everyone down into the space of being present with me right now, so that I can be present to deliver this information at the same time you can be present to receive this information. So I would like to ask us all to just close our eyes right now and just take a few deep breaths here with me today. I want to start by thanking each and every one of you again. Mahalo ke akua. And thank you to you for being here, for being present, for wanting to learn deeper levels of life and life's greater truths. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being present. Take your time to get settled into your chair today. Get your notebooks ready, get your pens ready. Be ready to listen to me with an open heart and an open mind. Let's all just get centered into our breath today as we're waiting for everyone to show up. Let's all just get centered and ready to listen, to learn, to absorb. Let's just breathe, 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 breathe. And while everyone is just getting grounded into their space along with me, I just need to stop for a moment and get my notes, because it's important for me to run and cover all aspects of what I wanted to teach you all today. And I'm just going to ask my assistant here for her passcode. I think I'm going to use this little device today. So welcome to Lucky Love, everyone. Let's get deeper into love with one another and love into ourselves and each other. And a lot of you know me from Facebook or YouTube. I like to self-title myself as the Love Doctor, because I have studied for the last 10 years from private institutions and from people one-on-one. And I swear to you that the amount of knowledge that I've acquired from this, as well as personal observance, has been enough to grant me a PhD. And I think I could qualify for that as well, just based on the experiences that I've had in the arts of healing and alternative healing. And so you're going to notice I'm probably going to stop and check in with myself a few times as we move along on this webinar today. You're going to notice that I'm going to take things slow so that the information is integrated and everything is really taken into consideration and learned on a very, very intercellular connection and an intercellular way. So how about we all get started today? So I just want to let you all know that by sticking around today, you're going to learn some top secret information. You're going to learn things that a lot of people don't consider, because you're learning from Marina Love, me, the one who loves to reveal life's greater truth and the deeper reasoning and the deeper meanings as to why things are happening and why things are actually occurring. Now, our sacred why as human beings is that we were born with an infinite amount of joy. We were born as little tiny babies who came out of our mother's wombs. And we've been in states of complete hypnosis since the age of 7, where we have forgotten what exactly we are as human beings. And I think that most of us are living at a tiny fraction of our potentiated potential. And so today you're really going to learn that deep, deep, deep sense of love. And you're going to learn exactly how to maintain, harmonize, and keep relationships going for a long, long, long time. Now, back to the whole subject about babies, is that no one alive today is truly evil. And no one alive today is worthy of all of the horrible things that we put ourselves through. And those horrible things being the doubt that we have for ourselves and the disapproval that we have for ourselves and others. And one of the greatest mottos that I've lived with, being a Gitana, is as within, so without, as above, so below. So whatever you are taking into your experience is living inside of you, and that's being projected onto every single person and every single interaction that you have. And from a very young age, I had many friends and people who barely even knew me coming up to me being like, what's the secret to love? What's the secret? How do I attract a boyfriend? What's the secret? And I was actually attracting people who were asking me these types of questions because I was always in a long-term relationship and I was always considered a man magnet. And even to this day, I stand here at 28 years young, and I have never had a problem attracting a partner. And I can say this in my full authenticity and in my full self-awareness that this has been my truth. I have never been alone. I have never been lonely. And as I share this with you, I let you know that the same exists within you, and that same capability exists within you to have the partner of your dreams and to always be in the company of beautiful, lustrously abundant, magical, mind explosive orgasms of partnership. And we all deserve that. We all deserve that. We're all worthy of that, and we all deserve that. So let's get into the mistakes. Let's start talking about what we're doing wrong so that I can help you understand what to do right. And the number one thing is that we aren't being ourselves. That's right. We are not being ourselves. We don't know how to be fully activated as a human being. And because of that, it's hard for us to have a solid, stable consistency within our relationships with ourselves, with ourselves. And I often joke about the weapons of mass destruction that are plaguing us as a society, that being the chemicals that are sprayed in the air, the toxins, the herbicides, fungicides, larvicides, suicides, as my teacher David Wolf says, that's being in our food sources and in our innocent interactions in everyday life. You know, we're stepping outside and we're being blasted by all these chemicals. We need to nourish ourselves. We're being blasted by all these chemicals. We're drinking water, being blasted with all these chemicals, unless you're drinking spring water. So that's another tip. Write that one down. Drink spring water. And so what ends up happening as we start getting involuntarily poisoned by our environments, we also start to get involuntarily poisoned by more weapons of mass destruction, being the media and being magazines and radio broadcasts. Not ones like this, obviously, because this is a live talk. This is not dead talk. So magazines, media, movies, TV shows, all of that stuff is poisoning you. It's part of the weapons of mass destruction. And this is how a lot of our society is learning how to be in love, learning how to be with each other. And I would have to say that these involuntary poisons and weapons of mass destruction is actually calcifying us to a certain degree that doesn't allow us to be within our authenticity. And what ends up happening is that we don't know how to be ourselves. We're trying to fit into this mold of society, in this box of what it means to be human and what it means to be in a relationship. And what I've observed over the years is that we just end up acting superficial as a result. And it's not even our fault. We're just simply doing the best that we can with what we know and where we're at and what we have. And if we're being, hypnotized and we're being poisoned, then we really don't know how to be ourselves because we're living on this false sense of reality. And an interesting thing happened years ago. As I was observing two people in an argument, I was in a group of friends, and I was observing a couple in an argument, and there was one of the friends who stepped in to try and give them some coaching around what had happened. And he was telling the woman, he pulled her aside, and he's my girlfriend, he was telling her, you know what, sometimes you just need to paint on a smile and pretend to be okay when things aren't. And I remember eavesdropping and hearing this and being like, this is so despicable that we as human beings would pretend to be anything other than ourselves. And that we would pretend to paint on a smile and pretend to be okay when things are the furthest thing away from okay in our minds and in our hearts. And so there was that really shocked me. And in observance, that's one of the things that I had seen as plaguing us, is the fact that we don't know how to be ourselves, and then other people are telling us how to be, and we're so out of touch with our authenticity. And to me, the definition of authenticity is something that some of you who have been followers of mine have heard me say, and that is without the incessant need to be right. That is what authenticity is. Without the incessant need to be right, can we just live in our truth in the moment for what feels real to us in that space? And so I see a lot of people acting superficial. Is it not a superficial response to paint on a smile when we're really feeling like crying or raging out or just being? And there's a lot to blame for that. And it's okay. I want everyone in this moment with me right now to just forgive ourselves. Because as you're joining me for this teaching webinar, you're also here to heal. And there's a greater reason as to why we do things. And each and every one of you who signed up for this today, it's because you also recognized the fact and you answered the deeper call, the higher self's call to come and get some healing from Marina Love today. And so I want to share that with you. Is to just be, and to be unapologetically who you are at all times. And so I'm going to give you a little tidbit here. Write this one down. When you are trying to attract a partner, be as playful as you can. And what I mean by that is be silly, be goofy. And I'm only stating this to you because this has been my truth. And this has been the truth of many other women who I've worked with over the years, is that when they become goofy with the object of their affection or someone that they're interested in, they notice that the attraction from that partner increases and they become more engaged, because men and women both seek engagement. So to be unapologetically yourself would really mean going back to your childlike essence. Because as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, your childlike essence includes you being innocent and pure and authentic. And that authenticity is joy, is bliss, is having fun. And I'll just share with you something that happened over this weekend. A lot of you know I facilitate cacao ceremonies. I have another persona called Yolotl Etzli, and we call her Yo for short. She's the crazy alchemical shamanista who facilitates ceremony using cacao to open people's hearts and return them back to love. And in the ceremony, there was 2 men and 3 women. And it was so much fun because after the ceremony, I started to activate us being more into more of a play center. And it was so interesting watching the deep levels of engagement that began to happen as we started getting giddy and rolling around on the floor, laughing and poking each other, acting like little babies, just being totally ridiculous and outlandish. And, according to modern society, that type of behavior would be absolutely insane. But it's not. Just be who you are at all times. Be goofy. If you feel like laughing and being joyful, express your joy. Stop suppressing it. This is why we cannot attract partners in the long term or long-lasting relationships, because we're suppressing so much of our innate joy that's just wanting to be unleashed at all times. And so it was interesting for me to watch. So activate the power of play and be a child. because it's through that childlike nature that you have purity and that you can develop trust, which leads me to the second mistake that we're making, and that being that our hearts are closed. Yes, our hearts are completely closed off. Think back throughout your journey, throughout all the years of your life so far, whether you're 18, 16, 40, 50, 60, however old you are. I like to say however wise you are, because it's not about being old. Old has such a negative connotation. It's about being wise, because I feel that through the years of being alive, you gain wisdom. Anyways, let's get back onto the topic. So think back through your journey of wisdom. How many times along that journey did someone hurt you? Did someone betray you? Did someone dishonor you? Where did you feel wronged? I want you to think for a second of all those areas that you feel that you have been wronged. And know that if you haven't done healing around them, then those situations are hanging within your subconscious mind. And they're actually preventing you from being fully activated in your heart center. And this is something that a lot of people are unaware of and they don't know, is that your body is such an intelligent thing. It's a thing. There's just no explanation for the human body. It's incredibly intelligent, and it stores all of the memories that you have ever gone through in your life. Good, bad, happy, sad, blissful, joyful, wonderful, horrifying. All of that has been stored within your psyche and within your energetic body, within your aura. And so what ends up happening is, if you've been plagued by a lot in your life that's remained unresolved, then what ends up happening is your heart becomes more calcified and more closed off. And this closure that you have upon your heart is blocking you from being a ray of light through your heart space. And I know it looks like I'm naked right now, but I've got a shirt on. Check it out. Woo! That's part of me being playful. That's part of me being goofy. So let's do some healing around this today, in this moment together. A lot of you who know me as Marina Love, the Love Doctor, revealing life's greater truths. The way that I work is through alchemy, magic, inspiration, which leads to transformation. So let's activate some alchemy here on this webinar today. And let's do a very brief healing around the heart space, but none the less effective nor powerful. It's going to be very powerful. So let's do this right now. Let's sit down here. Make sure that you're all in a comfortable seated position. You can lay down if you want, but I find that it's more effective if you're sitting up with your back upright, so that the light from the heavens can penetrate you and go down, 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 and just impact your soul, impact your body. So let's just take a deep breath in through our noses and out through our mouth. I invite you to make some noise. And I want you to keep breathing. Just keep taking deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. I'm breathing with you here, but I need to talk, so I can't be engaged in the full practice. So allow me to facilitate. So as you breathe in, I want you to picture all of the love that you have experienced in your life, all of the joy. I want you to think back to the most joyous experience that you have ever had in your life. And I want you to fill yourself to the brim of yourself, to the brim of your whole being, with that beautiful, beautiful energy and experience. And as you breathe out, I want you to do the exact opposite. I want you to take all of that stuff as if it's weights. And I want you to push out all that has been unjustful in your life, if that's even a word. Injustice, pain, suffering, heartbreak. And through the in-breath, take in more of your joy. And if you don't have it, then ask the heavens for it. Ask the heavens to present you with an experience, because we've all had joy in our lives. Maybe we're in a place where we can't really remember it right now. You know, I don't know what you're experiencing right now, but I want you to try and think back. And if you can't, just always ask the heavens to help you, because there are unseen beings present at all times that are available at your service, who want what's best for you. Please don't ever forget that. So just keep breathing in, all the joy, all the bliss, all those memories, and ask for some more, like little sprinkles on top of your cherry pie or whatever type of dessert you love. Or if you don't love dessert, think of a food that you really enjoy. Or think of sex, think of orgasm. And then as you breathe out all that past trauma, all those memories, all that pain, suffering that you don't deserve, breathe it out. Use your breath as the facilitation of light and beauty within you. I'm going to invite you to take a few more deep breaths here through the nose, collecting all that joy, all that love, all that peace, all that harmony, and just breathe out all the bullshit. Oh yeah, I'm going to be blunt right now. And make noise. It's all coming out. Allow yourself to tune into your heart. In a time when society is completely feels as if it's falling apart, always tune into your heart and always know that that medicine is available to you at all times. And it is your responsibility to take care of your heart. It is your responsibility to take care of your heart. It is no one else's. You are me-sponsible. No longer responsible. You are me-sponsible. Me being you. Me being me. Me being we. We are all we-sponsible. Me-sponsible. Responsible. So remember that you can tune into that at any time that you feel your heart is closed off. And I really encourage each and every one of you on this call today, on this webinar, to write down a list of all of those things that hurt you in your past and made you forget of heaven on earth that exists around us. And I want you to do this exercise that I've just shown to you on each of those things and fill yourself with love and light. I have been through a lot in my life, as you have too. And the only reason I'm sitting here in paradise, broadcasting live to you from the world's greatest technology, in the world's most breathtaking place, is because I have done the work, and I continually do the work. And the work is nothing physical that you could ever do. The work is internal. The work is all inside of you. It's not outside of you. Quit searching outside of you for things. It's all inside. And a lasting key, this is a key point, you want to pay attention here, is that if you are trying to attract a lasting relationship, be in a lasting, lustful relationship with yourself. And excuse me for being blunt, but fuck yourself wide open. Fuck yourself wide open. I got that from David Deida. He's a really wonderful relationship expert, really conscious relationship man. I love him. Thank you, David Deida. But he talks about being fucked wide open. So just fuck yourself wide open every day. And I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone with this vocabulary. It may hold a very negative resonance, but let's just restructure that right now because we're in a very positive space of light, of cultivation of magic and alchemy and transformation, healing. So, you know, we end up expecting the worst because of that. Because of our hearts being closed, we end up expecting the worst. We play the blame and shame game. And it ends up being a lose situation where we actually don't win anything in the end because we're too fixated on our past, whether we're conscious of that or not. So make sure that you're doing the work, because you'll continually be in a cycle of unfair, unjust situations until you get the lesson. That's the way this world really works, and that's what they will not teach you in school. They will teach you that you are a victim because they do not want you to claim your personal sovereignty nor power. They want you to be a victim all the time, because when you are in fear, your IQ lowers. So the key is to be responsible, me-sponsible, so that you are not playing the blame and shame game. And that's what breaks many relationships apart, because we're constantly blaming. We're blaming ourselves, we're blaming that person. Oh, well, no one likes me, I'm just gonna give up. I'll never have the chance to be with anyone because I just suck. No, you don't suck. You are an emanation of God, goddess. You have incredible powers in you beyond your wildest imaginations. imaginations to cultivate whatever it is that you want in your life. And I'm only telling you this because I am walking my talk. Which leads me to another key point to help you open your heart to. I want to make sure that you guys are getting a lot in this webinar today. So the first thing is the activation of the heart exercise that we just did. And the second thing is a Hawaiian huna technique called Ho'oponopono. And this is a very masterful practice. And I'm not going to go too in depth with it because I want to give you some homework to do. But this equation is working from the inside out. And anytime you feel that you have been wronged, I want you to do these 4 things. First, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. There was a story that I heard told by Dr. Nick Good, who's one of my idols and teachers and most amazing man, one of the most amazing men that I know. And he was talking about this story of this doctor in Hawaii who shut down a psych ward by using that practice alone, Ho'oponopono. And he didn't even need to see anyone. All he did was look at it was a psychotic ward, so he was looking at the patient's pictures in his office, saying those 4 things. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Because it's through the inner journey that we cultivate the outer journey. And if you really believe in the oneness equation, if you really believe the consciousness that you have, then you will take responsibility. And you'll take responsibility for things even when you feel that it's not your place, because you'll recognize how connected we are. And if something is showing up within your reality, it's because it belongs to you. So today, before I was coming here, my housemate was telling me about, before I came out onto the deck, my housemate was telling me about how he nearly drowned today at Secrets Beach here in Kauai. And that was part of his experience, so it was also part of my experience. And it was quite traumatic. And some of you listening to this today may not understand what I mean. But as you journey deeper into the subconscious, into the psychic realms, into the oneness realms, you will start to understand what I mean. And so I'm going to give you a lot of information in this webinar today, but mostly I want to encourage you to do homework as well. Because from my journey, what helped teach me what I know right now is not through listening to someone regurgitate the information. What actually helped me become more masterful, and I claim no mastery, I'm on the journey of that, but it was actually through hands-on application. So I'm just reminding you all of that as we move further. So now that you've learned about Ho'oponopono, let's get into the 3rd mistake that we're making. And the 3rd mistake is that we are not creating space in our lives for what we want. Let that sink in for a moment and think about that. Maybe ask yourself here. Some of you might be looking at the screen going, how am I not creating space? I haven't done anything. Well, as you've learned from the last 2 things that we've just covered, you're more responsible than you think. A lot more responsible than you think. So, with that being said, we don't exude all that we are because our hearts are closed off, because we can't be authentic. We're not creating space for that same thing to happen. We live in a reciprocal environment. And if we are living in our victim mentality, then that means that we're going to keep attracting villains in our lives to keep showing us that we're a victim. So if you have been wronged over and over and over and over again in your relationships, it's because there's parts of you that are acting like a victim. And you need to start doing the work on that so that you can get rid of those villains, first get rid of your victim mentality so those villains can't even have the space to show up. You disarm that ability through your own internal workings. And I'm going to keep coming back to that because I swear to you, in order to have the life of your dreams, it's a very simple equation, but it's through the weapons of mass destruction that it has been so confusing. And it seems like the world's greatest puzzle to figure out life when it's really not. Life is very simple. And a few years ago in 2012, I had the pleasure and the honor of meeting a very powerful shaman. And one of the sermons that she gave, she told me, it's easy. And it is. Everything is easy. This world is designed easy. It's through these chemicals and media and whatever else that's keeping us away from this intrinsic knowing, this innateness that's our birthright, for it to be easy and loving. So how do you create space in your relationships? Well, simple. You do the inner work. Yes, you do the inner work. You start working on yourself to create space. And I find that in teaching, one of the best ways to help embed the knowledge within the student is to give examples of what this looks like. So I know you've all had traumatic situations in your life. And I remember over the years, I've had some very traumatic situations in my life with bullying. And I remember recently, just last week, it's not even a deep memory, it's just like a few weeks ago, last week or the week before, I don't even know. I don't even know what day it is. It's the time for my webinar, woo! So I had a very, very traumatic situation with a friend where they started accusing me of doing things that I don't recall doing. Probably happened to you too at some point. And I could have fallen into the victim mentality where I started to feel like, oh, this is all my fault. Maybe these things are true. Oh, I'm so hard done by. No, blah, blah. No. Instead, because I understand the power of Ho'oponopono, I started doing that. And I didn't allow my ego to tell me, no, this person needs to apologize. This person needs to come clean and no. Yeah, of course they should. And as human beings, we should offer each other that when we find that we're projecting things and whatnot. But you have the power. And how do you have the power is through doing that forgiveness practice, because that creates space for that person to come back. And anytime I've ever done Ho'oponopono on someone, and I haven't just learned this practice through being in Hawaii, I learned it much before that. I've noticed that the person comes back, and not only do they come back, but they apologize for everything that I wanted them to apologize for. So ladies, gentlemen, if you've had people in your past that have done things to you that you feel you've been wronged by, do Ho'oponopono and watch. They'll come back and they'll be like let's say they accused you of cheating and you didn't. They'll come back to you at some point and they'll be like, you know what? I accused you of cheating and that was wrong of me. And they may not be 100% accurate, but there will be parts of what they're saying that will be accurate. And you trust me. I made a video about this a few weeks ago. It was called Karmic Justice Will Be Served. I think I even called it karmatic. I tend to make up words at times. But karmic justice will be served to those in which it is deserved if you are willing to do the inner work. So create space. If you really want to have a loving relationship with a member of the same or opposite sex, you need to create space for that by forgiving all those people in your past who've done you wrong. Because each partner that you create space for deserves a clean space and a clean slate in your life. They deserve to have the freedom of knowing that, you know, they're not going to be walking on eggshells with you. They need to have the freedom of knowing that they can love you fully and completely, because trust me, it's our innateness to love each other and to be overly loving and overly expressive and overly joyful and all that. But we've just been bogged down. We've been bogged down by all this stuff, all this calcification of the heart that needs to end, all this victimization and fear. We're surrounded by fear porn. We're in a fear porn epidemic world right now, where we're constantly being blasted by the fact that it's out of our control. No, you're fully in control of your experience through taking we-sponsibility, responsibility, me-sponsibility. And you can totally do it. And I really am so honored and grateful for the fact that I have been through hard things in my life, because it's through those hardships that actually brought more awareness to me. So don't fear those situations from now on. Just know that, okay, this is happening. Well, I know how to fix it. I can just go into myself and fix this. It's not outside of me. It's inside of me. So if you want to be lucky in love, those are the 3 things to keep into deep consideration. And it's not about saying that you know, it's about acting. It's about walking your talk. Okay, the New Yorker's going to come out here and teach you a little lesson, or Boston or whatever. I'm sorry I'm offending anyone who's from out there, but I'm an actress too, so I gotta be brutally honest here. So let's just get down to the basics, and let's remember that life is easy. You know, our hearts have been closed. We can open them ourselves. We don't need someone else to do it for us. It's all within us. We just got to take responsibility. That's it. Simple. So, the secret sauce. Are you ready? Are you ready for the secret sauce of today, of lucky love? Da, 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 da. I hope you are. The secret sauce to having the partner of your dreams, to be in the relationships of your dreams, is to claim your natural essence. And this may not make sense to some of you, but I hope that I am able to gain enough clarity right now in this moment to share with you what this means. This means visiting your original wound. And your original wound is, mommy doesn't love me. Daddy doesn't love me. This might be a shocker for some of you, but that's where it all starts. That's where the lack of love starts. It starts with our parents. So you need to revisit that if you really want to be lucky in love. And if you have any problems with your mother or your father, do some ho'oponopono on them. And use that practice to your advantage, because it does work. It's not wishful thinking. It's not me being Pollyanna, okay? I'm not being Pollyanna here. I'm being honest with you. We have magical abilities beyond our wildest dreams, my darlings. And that original wound is where it all starts. That original wound is where the calcification of the heart begins. And as within, so without. So if we're carrying that with us from a young age, we're going to continually get situations that'll penetrate that wound. You'll keep attracting the villains because you're a victim to it. So bring more awareness into your experience. Your mother is who teaches you about the divine feminine. And if you have any problems with your mother, that means that your divine feminine essence is being held away from you. And your divine essence is actually your attraction field. Yes. Your divine essence is your attraction field. So if you have problems with your father, then you have problems with the divine masculine. You have problems with that divine attraction field. You don't radiate it because it's being held away from you, because you're too busy feeling like a victim because mommy and daddy didn't love you. And to any of you listening to this right now who's upsetting you, I want to say I'm sorry, but it's the truth. And this is why you may be kept away from having a very honest, fulfilling, sustainable, consistent relationship with a partner, is because you have so much original wounding present. And you have a problem with the divine masculine and the divine feminine because mommy and daddy were unfair to you. So you need to forgive them. And that's the first step. That's the secret sauce. It's not the first step, it's the secret sauce. So remember the secret sauce to visit your original wound. So my darlings, we're coming to a close today on today's webinar. And I hope I was able to give you all that I got right now. Just me showing up in authenticity, doing the best that I can with what I know and where I'm at and what I have. And I really hope that this information was useful to you. And even if it wasn't, it's okay. You were here. You showed up. It's part of your experience. And I just want to end by letting you know, as a thank you, as a sincere thank you to each and every one of you for being on this webinar today, I want to offer you $200 off my Charm School program. And Charm School is where I teach my top secret 5 strategies, which help you unleash your feminine or masculine essence that will help to allow you to be a pinnacle point of power, a cultivation field of all that you wish. So by the drop of a hat or the bat of an eyelash, you can be, do, have whatever you want. And it's through my 5 secret principles that you'll learn. I'm going to teach you about setting effective goals, because that's really important. I'm going to take you through a whole cellular restructuring process, because self-knowledge is cell knowledge, and we're being held away from most of ourselves because our cells are not activated. So I'm going to activate you. I'm also going to teach you about honoring self-care and beauty adornment practices. I'm going to teach you my secret gypsy strategies for that. And you're going to be blown away, because it's incredible what simple shifts can do that will last a lifetime. I'm also going to teach you some mindset mastery and manifestation work. And we're also going to do a lot of healing around your original wound. So if you really need help right now, and you're sitting here watching this and you're like, oh my God, that sounds like me. You know, I've got all these problems. I'm not lucky. I'm not lucky in love. I'm not lucky in life. I'm having problems. Then I really encourage you. I'm going to put a link on this webinar for anyone who is interested. I'm giving $200 off to you today for being present with me for this time. And it's a 5-week course where we're going to work one-on-one. And I don't share this information with anyone but my VIPs, and I'm going to unleash it all on you, whoever's willing to step forth to the plate to commit themselves to healing, because as within, so without. So when you heal yourself, you heal others. You give others the opportunity to heal as well. And if you need help around this original wounding, I would love to be the person to alchemically guide you through a journey into your higher self. So I'm going to share with you a few testimonials that some of my clients have written for me. Some of my recent Charm School graduates. The program's called Charm School, so just mention Charm School and we'll get on the phone together and I'll see if you qualify. But I'll offer you $200 off if you do, okay? Because I'm only committed to working with people who I feel are aligned with me and are receptive to this information. Otherwise, it's a waste of my time, it's a waste of your time, and I'm not about doing that. I want to be as authentic as I can with what I know and where I am and what I have. So here's the testimonial. I can see why you take so much away from helping others and feeling gratified. It's because you're totally awesome, Marina, and in conjunction with the person who commits. You truly do make miracles. I have seen a change in myself that has not been present ever. And I know I have myself to congratulate. She's being responsible there. But you have given me hope and a true sense of pleasure and enlightenment since applying the tools that you teach. I haven't ever pushed myself this much, and I genuinely enjoyed it, because it brings me to a place where I'm present and I feel as though I have an identity and a person. No one has ever done this for me. And I do feel very much a different person, and I'm experiencing my rebirth daily. And the other graduate says, my experience with Marina Love has been life-changing. I'm so grateful with her extensive knowledge. She has awakened my mind, body, and soul. Only a week in, and I can see and feel major results. It is incomparable to any advice and guidance I've received prior to meeting her. The products and services she provides are top quality. She is a healer and revealer. This is not my experience, but of the countless people that know Marina. What a blessing she is. Oh, I just love reading these. They make me feel so good. Marina Love, here's another one, recent graduate. Marina Love, where do I begin? She's the most caring and compassionate being I've ever come across in my life. She understands your problems as if it were her own problems. She has tons of useful information about diet and health and herbalism. And she also has a way of understanding exactly where you're coming from, and genuinely has your best interest in mind. If she was putting up a facade and actually didn't care about her clients, then I would advise her to pursue a career in acting. That was actually a gentleman that went through Charm School with me. So this program is for men and for women. And I'm just honored to share these testimonials with you, and I'm committed to your results. I'm committed to your results, and I really want to offer you, I want to be of service. So if you want someone to help you walk down this path, the time is now. It's 2015. It's time for us to start reclaiming our power and attracting the life and love that we desire. Thank you all so much for being here today. I'm so, so, so honored and grateful for each and every one of you. I just want to show you, as we depart, I want to show you the magic of where I am. Take a look at this beautiful scenery behind me. I know it's a little bit hard to see, but paradise truly exists, and it can be within our reality if we take the time to commit to ourselves, and commit to ourselves and our healing. I love you all, and I wish you all the most magical day. Thank you so much for joining me. Aloha. Mahalo ke kua.